State of the Sun Devils with Jeremy Schnell, Jesse Morrison, and Mitch Bareldes, an Arizona Sports podcast.
Hello and welcome into another edition of State of the Sun Devils alongside Jesse Morrison. I'm Jeremy Schnell. It's a day of celebration, Jesse.
Yeah.
Because ASU got a big-time basketball recruit.
Yeah, we're a recruiting podcast now, apparently.
Yeah, because that's all. I mean, every podcast around that talks about college sports is a recruiting podcast now.
Yeah,
Jesse.
but like this is like our most recruiting focused podcast that we've ever done.
Really?
I think.
Tell me.
Maybe the Jaden Rashada one was when he committed. That was very recruiting focused as well. But
so quaintance, huh?
Yeah, Jaden Quaintance, very big recruit. He's a center or power forward center. 6'9", 235 pounds, 7'3" wingspan, number 8 overall in the country, according to, I believe that's both with 24/7 and
ESPN
and actually Rivals. ESPN has him at 16th, but I would trust Rivals and 24/7 a little more on the recruiting side of things.
I don't trust anybody with recruiting.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay. But anyway, he can shoot. He can dribble. He's not like a back to the basket big. He's kind of like a new age big
center. Yeah.
That kind of player.
Power forward-ish.
And this is the crazy part about all of this. John Calipari taking the job at Arkansas and moving from Kentucky is the whole reason why he is now at Arizona State and coming in for this 2024 season, because he was originally committed to Kentucky. He decommitted after Calipari went to Arkansas, and I guess he decided to not follow his would-be coach to Arkansas.
Listen, hey, I wouldn't want to play in Arkansas. No offense to Arkansas, I'd rather play in Arizona.
Yeah,
than Arkansas.
I mean, I agree too. And he spent a little bit of his high school career in Arizona, so I think it just overall, like,
it's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a big deal. This is probably the biggest recruit Bobby Hurley's ever got.
I think so. I mean, Lou Dort was pretty big. Remy Martin was pretty big, but I think
Josh Christopher was pretty big.
Yeah, and same with Bagley, but he didn't end up working out here. But for this recruit, for Quaintance, he's possibly going to be here for 2 years because he has a weird age situation where he's 16 years old?
Yeah. So he doesn't turn 17, and this is wild to me. It makes me feel old. He doesn't turn 17 until July, which means he was born in 2007, which is wild. And so, yeah, you have to be there. You have to be like 19 at some point in your rookie season for
in the
you
NBA.
to be able to
Yes.
be eligible for the NBA draft. I think you have to turn 19 before the calendar turns to January. So he's definitely not going to be that. He would be 18 for his full rookie season. So obviously that he can't go pro. So yeah, I mean, if Bobby Hurley can keep him here for 2 years,
and he can develop and become possibly the star that this team has been looking for since Dez left last year.
Yeah, I think this could potentially be like, and I know I hate to like get super hyped over a college or a high school recruit. I like to always see what they can do at the next level. It's the same thing with like why I'm just kind of like the draft with NBA draft, NFL draft, WNBA draft, like all those drafts, you never really know. It's all just like guessing and projections. But this guy has the chance to be the best player since Harden, because number one, he's going to hopefully be here for 2 years, which Harden was here for 2 years. Going to go to multiple tournaments.
Hopefully.
Like Harden, and if he gets further in the tournament than Harden, then I think that the the ceiling is really high for him to become the best, maybe the best player in this program's history.
Living in the moment a little bit here, Jesse. But yes, he has the opportunity to do that. Something to think about, though, is, you talked about that he played a little bit of high school ball here in Arizona. Mm-hmm. He also played on the U16 team with Koa Pete, who's a Perry High School superstar, top 5 projected recruit in next year's class, the 2025 class. So if he can convince someone like Koa Pete to come here and be a 1-2 punch with Koa Pete and Quaintance, that would be that would be something else next year.
And I saw Koa Pete play in the Open Division State Championship game. Team was down pretty big in the first half. He just took over and they won. So, I mean, he's a really good player. He's really just like kind of a bruiser, honestly. That's how I would describe Koa Pete. But he can also do some more things, shoot a little bit. So, yeah, this is great for this season, but could be even better for next season if he can, get Koa Pete to come here or help get Koa Pete to come here as well.
A 3-star center signee, Jaden Smith, he backed out of his commitment to ASU because of this commitment from Quaintance.
Yeah, not too many big-time offers for him. It was really, from what I saw, ASU and DePaul. And he probably wouldn't have played here very much, because they have Sean Phillips too, and if Sean Phillips is good, this is great for Sean Phillips. I think this Quaintance thing, because he can really establish a role as a really good bench player,
spark plug
off the bench.
Nice, love my spark plugs.
Energy guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just don't think this Jaden Smith kid would play over Phillips or Quaintance, obviously.
Yeah. Brandon Gardner, 6'8" USC transfer. He has ASU in his top 6, along with Arizona, Texas, and A&M. He was a top 100 recruit. Also played 4 minutes as a true freshman at USC. So not a lot known about that. This kid.
Yeah.
He at one time played in Overtime Elite for the Blue Checks, along with Quaintance, Rob Dillingham, Jared McCain.
Overtime Elite.
Yeah, so possibly a little connection there with Quaintance. Elijah Sanders, 6'8", 240-pound San Diego State transfer. He received ASU interest. He played 37 games, started 21, averaged 6 and 4, shot 96% free throw percentage.
96%, that's crazy. They got to get more guys in here again that can shoot free throws. They've done it this offseason, and I hope that they can continue to do more of that.
So he went to high school here in Arizona, so a possible landing spot?
Activating the Valley, Bobby Hurley.
Yeah. Kamari Lands is a Middle Tennessee State.
Yeah. That's a definite step down for him. Obviously, he didn't get that much playing time here at ASU. But his college career's going from Louisville, down to ASU probably. I mean, I know
Louisville's been terrible.
Louisville's been terrible, but historically speaking, Louisville is one of the blue blood programs, and then.
But their jerseys are red.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Okay.
But yeah, they go. Then he goes to ASU. And now he's at Middle Tennessee State. So he's taking some steps down. But hopefully this is a good spot for him where he can actually get playing time, because I think he's a pretty good player.
Hey, how about this, Jesse? Football. Number 15 nationally for the 2025 class, and number 1 in the Big 12. We talked about this the other day. They were number 3 in the Big 12. Now they're number 1. I know, like we were talking about with basketball, it's tough to say, this kid's going to be good, this kid's not. You never know with these recruiting sites, but ranked number 1 in the Big 12, that's a big deal for Kenny Dillingham in what will be his 3rd year as the head coach at ASU.
Yeah, here's the thing. They are, they already attacked the portal really well. And I was happy about that. And now they're really doing well in the recruiting space.
Activating the valley a little bit.
Activating the valley, going to Texas. So, I mean, I think that you got to look at this and be like, I mean, yeah, Texas and Oklahoma are not in the Big 12 anymore, but right now they're ranked ahead of Oklahoma State, Baylor, Texas Tech, Kansas State, TCU.
Hey, the biggest one is they're ranked ahead of the team from down south.
Yeah, they're ranked ahead of Arizona. And I mean, you can throw Arizona into that category now of those other schools
because they were so good last
really
year.
Good, and they've kept, despite their coach leaving, they've kept a good amount of players, especially their starting quarterback, who is going to be one of the best QBs in the country this year.
Dejon Hinton commits. He's from Saguaro, as we said, activating the Valley. That's another 2025 recruit. AJ Law commits from Orange Lutheran. He's a 4-star tight end, number 17 tight end in the top 400, and he's in the top 400 from On3. Top 150 on 3, and then top 400 in 24/7.
Yeah, more tight ends, please.
We need the tight ends here in Arizona, at Arizona State. Two big Arizona 2025 still considering ASU. Logan Powell, he's a Brophy offensive tackle, has ASU in his top 5, along with Alabama, Oklahoma, Wisconsin, and Tennessee. So it would be pretty big if they can get him.
Yeah, this is a huge one because he's not just he is the number 1 player in Arizona. Number 1, top player.
That would be really activating the Valley.
Yes. Number 229 overall. So that would be a very, very big recruit for Kenny to land.
Gio Richardson, Basha wide receiver. He was among spring game visits. He's number 161 wide receiver, number 12 in Arizona for 2025. So not huge there. But, always good to get depth at the wide receiver position. Keon Grays, he's an Ohio State wide receiver. He's visiting this week. So it'd be nice to steal someone away from a Big Ten team. Always good.
Big time, the Ohio State University.
Oh, God.
We've all heard about them,
Zach Swanson, no, he's a defensive lineman. He's visiting this week.
From Texas. And they already got a Texas guy. So maybe they can get 2 Texas guys. Also got a Texas defensive lineman. I mean,
he was originally from Brophy Prep and number 6 in Arizona in 2022.
Yeah, I kind of like this reactivating the Valley.
Where they get the guys that went somewhere else and then they're coming back home.
And they're like, I want to come back home. Like, that is, I've noticed that Kenny's done a really good job at that. And, with like Tate Romney and players like that coming back to the Valley. So
Bryce Pierre, UCLA Bruin.
Guess he wants to play in Piscataway.
Ed Woods chooses Michigan State. So it was a nice straight swap. Ed Woods for Sam Levitt.
Yeah, that was totally how it went down. That's what we're doing in college now. We're just trading players.
So Elijah Badger, Washington or Florida? People are saying.
That's
like opposite ends of the country there.
Opposite climates. What's up with ASU players going to Washington?
Yeah, they like Jed Fish, I guess.
Yeah,
the fisherman.
Yeah, that's weird. And Florida, and ASU receivers going to Florida. Like
Ricky Pearsall, top 35 pick in this year's.
First round.
He was
pick.
A first rounder, huh?
Late first round pick.
Good for him.
Pearsall.
He makes catches that you're not supposed to make.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
I interviewed him one-on-one one time.
Thanks, Jesse. The last thing I wanted to touch on real quick, Jesse, and we talked about this last week, revenue sharing possibly coming to the NCAA. The NCAA is looking to settle this case. Could be looking at a possible $5 billion in payouts to student athletes and former student athletes.
Yeah, and so they want to settle that so they don't have to do that.
That might be close to what they end up settling on.
This story for me, little hard to understand personally, but I find it to be just another chapter in the NCAA's downfall.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is exactly what the schools and the students have been wanting. Is they're making billions of dollars a year, and the kids are getting an education out of it. That's great, and they're able to go get their NIL deals. But why does the NCAA just get to pocket all this money? They should be sharing it with the students. It's not free labor. It should not be free labor. They're putting their bodies on the line for these institutions and the NCAA, so they should be paid accordingly.
Yeah, it's just funny to me that over the past 10 years, people have just finally been like, okay, enough of this. And everything's gone crazy.
Everyone's coming around to the idea that it's time to start to pay the athletes.
Not have shamateurism, as they call it.
There you go. And then last but not least, the Dolphins picked up an ASU offensive lineman, Aaron Frost. He's coming for a minicamp invite.
Yep.
Again, I'm worried about that as a Dolphins fan because the offensive line at ASU was not good last year, but I'm happy for him.
Yeah, hopefully he makes the team.
Yeah, hopefully he makes the team. That's going to do it for this edition of State of the Sun Devils. Thank you so much for listening. You can follow us on all forms of social media. At AZ Sports Devils is where you can find us. You can also find almost every single episode on the Arizona Sports YouTube channel. Go to the Arizona Sports app or arizonasports.com or YouTube itself and click on the video tab or search us there. Thank you, Jesse. Appreciate you coming in this morning. I know it's an early morning for you, but we got it done.
Yeah, we
did. A celebration. I'm wearing my black to celebrate the Heat losing tonight to the Boston Celtics.
Okay, you can cut that out.
All right. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you soon.